Good day, everyone. Good day, ma'am. My topic is the taxation in Spanish Philippines. I am Reneza M. Ombega, BSed Math 2A. Taxation refers to the compulsory levies imposed by governments on their citizens. Its purpose is to generate revenue for the government so that it can provide public goods and services. Evolution of Philippine taxation. Taxation as a mechanism for governments to raise revenue. Taxes as a social contract between citizens and the state. Importance of understanding historical context of taxation. In exchange for the taxes that people pay, the government promises to improve the citizens' lives through good governance. Pre-colonial taxation. Early Filipinos lived in a subsistence economy. Communities paid tribute, buwis or handog, to the dato, usually in the form of goods or services. This was simple and non-monetary, unlike modern taxation. The Philippines may have abundant natural resources even before the encroachment of the Spaniards, but our ancestors were mainly involved in a subsistence economy. What were the reasons why Philippines required to pay taxes? To fund the government, salaries of officials, church expenses, maintenance of the colony. Difficulty in collection led to creation of pueblos and reduction, gathering natives into organized towns. Encomenderos handled tax collection and received rewards for service. The galleon trade and situado was established late 16th century. These ships shipped goods between Manila and Acapulco. The Philippines received situado or financial aid from Mexico to support colonial operations. Subsidy ended when Mexico gained independence in 1820. Who were exempted from payment of tributos? These were the alcaldes, gobernadores, cabeza de barangay, soldiers, civil guards, government officials, and vagrants. In 1884, the tributo was abolished and replaced with the cedula personal, a personal poll tax and identification requirement that varied by income. Became a major source of government revenue, placed a heavier burden on peasants than on the rich, and imposed a higher discriminatory rate on Chinese residents. Forced labor, or the polo system. Filipinos required to render labor for 40 days a year, reduced to 15 days in 1884. Labor used in defense, woodcutting, shipbuilding for galleon trade. Burden caused population decline and the flight to mountains in 17th century. Taxation's social effect. Wealthy principales and local officials enriched by tributo and falas. Peasants heavily burdened, subject to abuse and heavy tax rates. Growing income disparity and social injustice. Taxation in the Philippines during the Spanish colonial period was characterized by the heavy burden placed on the Filipinos and the corruption of the principales or the former datos and local elites who were co-opted by the Spaniards to subjugate and control the natives on their behalf. The principales were given positions such as cabezas de barangay or alcaldes in the local government were able to enrich themselves by pocketing tributos and or falas, while the peasants were left to be abused. Taxation appeared progressive, but the disparity between the less taxed principales and the heavily taxed peasants made the rich richer and the poor poorer. Mariano Herbosa's primary account of taxes. Various taxes on irrigated and dry lands, palay, sugarcane, maize. Taxes could increase or decrease depending on harvest condition. Residential lots taxed variably, contracts fixed for 4 years with yearly increase. Tax receipts rarely given with questionable record keeping. Additional taxes on locust catching and other local activities. There are 5 kinds of taxes during Spanish period. These were tributo, sanctorum, donavito, caja de comunidad, servicio personal. Tributo was a general tax paid by the Filipinos to Spain. The tax amounted to 8 reales or 1 peso per year. Those who were required to pay the tributo were the 18 to 50 years old, the carpenters, bricklayers, blacksmiths, tailor, shoemaker, and town workers such as those road construction and those whose in public in nature. Sanctorum was a tax in the amount of 3 reales. These were required for the cost of Christianization, including the construction of churches and the purchase of materials for religious celebration. Dinativo was a tax in the amount of half real, used for the military campaign of the government against the Muslimso. In later years, the amount was exclusively used for the Spanish fort in Zamboanga. Caja de Comunidad was a tax collected in the amount of 1 real, used for the expenses of the town in the construction of roads, repair of bridges, or the improvement of public buildings. Servicio personal. Polo y servicio is the system of forced labor. It was present in almost all of the Spanish colonial government around the world. Forced labor of 40 days of men ranging from 16 to 60 years of age who were obliged to give personal services to community projects. VAT, or the Value Added Tax, is a 12% tax added to the price of goods and services in the Philippines. Businesses collect VAT from customers and remit it to the government. The standard percent in the Philippines of tax is 12%. Calculating VAT inclusive and VAT exclusive prices. VAT exclusive is equals to VAT inclusive over 1.12. VAT inclusive is equals to VAT exclusive times 1.12. And VAT inclusive price minus VAT exclusive price is equals to value added tax. We have here an example receipt with a total due of 689.75. The vatable sales is 615.85. The value added tax is not yet added to the vatable sales. The VAT amount is 73.90. So here is our solution. Given is the vatable sales 615.85, the value added tax is 12% or 0.12, and the VAT amount is 73.90. VAT amount is equals to vatable sales times value added tax over 100. So 615.85 pesos times 12% or 0.12 is equals to 100 and equals to 73.90 pesos, which is the value added tax amount. We have here another example. A ballpen is sold for 112 value-added tax inclusive, which means that the value-added tax is included in 112 pesos. So we will find the value-added tax exclusive price and the VAT amount. So here is the solution. Value-added tax inclusive price is equals to 112. So value-added tax exclusive is equals to value-added tax inclusive over 1.12. Value-added tax exclusive is equals to 112 over 1.12 with a result of 100 pesos. So, value-added tax is equals to value-added tax inclusive price minus VAT exclusive price, which we will have 112 pesos minus 100 pesos is equals to 12 pesos. So the value-added tax amount is 12 pesos.